acting like I do. It's been a minute. How are you guys? Oh, my whole shit is out. I'm sorry. That wasn't supposed to happen. Was not planned. So it's been a while since I've been in New York, really, to perform. So give it up for yourselves being at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. I am reading mostly all new work tonight, so I'm really excited because people don't do that often. But I see a lot of familiar faces, and there's some things I want to talk about in between the poems. So I'm just going, hopefully y'all ready to hear some stuff tonight. All right? The first one is called, If Ever You Find Yourself on the J Train. Get off at Cleveland Street. You will discover a neighborhood of noise and the music will make your hips laugh. The concrete is a pasture of broken nerves. More importantly, head towards the house whose shrouded shoulders shiver under the ragged shawl of an amusing sky. This is 61 Ashford Street. An old woman called my grandmother spends most summers on the front porch. If you visit, when I am a little girl, you will see me sitting next to her in a beach chair, agitated by the humid of spirits and smoke. She blows ghosts from her lips, fashioning cigarettes between her fingers like magic wands. Her arms ripple like the branches of willow trees, and her hands are ancient. I have watched them break the backs, the necks of chickens, how the blood drips from her wrists like syrup savoring the stick and moist before falling. She is a conjured woman, and Cuba is stubborn for her tongue. When she came here, to this house of magic and galaxies, I wonder if she ever longed for her country, if a santera ever misses her God. That was the end of that one. I have this thing where I'm trying to write shorter poems. I guess it's bougie shit, but no, it's really trying to be more concise. This one's for Celia Cruz. When you are ocean, river long, waterfall, voice, shaking noise into a conga rhythm, wind with wings wide as a wise woman's hold, the belly of a little girl turns into earth, land reaching to the edges of ground of home, felt a grandmother's hand rinsing in the air and pounding a fist of spirit into the soil. This is a mind breathing a language made of sazon. When your tongue rolls on an unraveling Shango, you are to me an old-time radio in Brooklyn, muffled in the hips of an immigrant woman named Graciela, who smoked Newports like steamships, raised a clan of confused sunlight in a home of shadows and brick. But when you sang, cuando usted cantó, she danced like the heat of the bay swept her, possessed her, and I saw a little girl spinning. Ella bailó, Celia, what I know of Cuba. I learned in the static of your voice through the sage in your sound, La Reina de la Salsa, when they buried you in the Bronx. I heard a people hushed and crying, a folk of red-brown dust skin singing you into life, una revolución del soul of a people. They cannot visit your grave or remember seeing you perform live, but they carry your songs like a testament to freedom, still make boats out of rundown cars in hopes of escaping their past for a better life. If only they knew how you lay in your deathbed reminiscing Havana, wishing to return home. This one's called Green. In the States, most parents beat their kids with a belt. Maybe an occasional wire, and of the southern kind, maybe even a switch off the tree. My mother assimilated well in this respect. Her whipping tool of choice was a thick belt of smoked black leather seamed with white thread that left puffy imprints of stitches across my backside and along my legs. As for my grandmother, she took to a liking more of a Caribbean tradition. When I was no older than 7 years, I stole a $20 bill sitting under a botanica candle that she kept lit in her bathroom, along with a piece of coconut and a glass of sour wine. This is what she called una ofrenda, an offering. I was a kid, and $20 was a shopping spree at the 99-cent store around the corner of Fulton. But when I got home and she realized what I had done, Her eyebrows angered, and she pulled me by my scarecrow arms, dragged me into the kitchen, took a bag of dried Goya rice from under the sink cabinet, walked me, this shit is real. You know, metaphors here. Walked me to a corner in the room and poured its grains onto the floor before commanding that I kneel, warning that I was not allowed to move, stood there for hours, trying to balance the weight of one knee onto the other as the rice dug into my skin, sticking into my sweat and the tearing of flesh. To whatever santo I have stolen from, whatever saint I have offended, lo siento. I'm sorry.
Wow.
So I have this theory, right, about love. I mean, a lot of motherfuckers have theories about love. But I really do believe, something I've noticed being able to be away from my country and having perspective, is that there's certain things human beings should always have the rights to have. Like, the fact that we argue over shit that is like so insignificant and superficial is a problem. And it's a capitalistic problem. And it's an American problem. And that shit is not love. And I believe, I mean, I'm just talking shit right now, but that the solution is that we have to evolve in how we love each other. And not just how we love each other, but how we love ourselves. So, because we want to possess people so much, right? But I learned that shit, and it's not cool. That's not how you love. Anyway, that's how I'm gonna segue into this. I just really believe that, like, all the change I want to see in my lifetime is not going to happen in my lifetime. So what I invest in is in educating people, because I believe that the young people are the people who are going to make the change that we want to see. So when you see some young kids acting a fucking fool, that's your job to tell them to stop acting a fool. That's not nobody else's job. Don't be like that's their mother's job. That's us as a community. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's just like a segue that I do sometimes. This is called The Percussionist. Because I was fucking with a percussionist. I'm grown. I need to learn how to be more subtle. The silent slant of noticing a routine reflection of your breath when you weren't looking. I wrote about the shovel of your blink beneath the soil sweat sweet in a summer we were unnamed praying our bodies together. Under the Chicago train tracks, your darkened fingers coiled in the night howl of my curls. I swear, magic is a drum you squeeze secrets out of in wounded cities. How many branches have you broken the backs of, called it woman music? There are so many floorboards we creaked with our knees, elbows, ankles, our backs in the bush of an Oregon forest, crumbling at the split of our throats. There was never anyone else. In the beginning, when I saw you traveling down my lap on a Parisian rooftop, there was only you growling against my heartbeat, spirit confessing to the moon. Have you ever loved a human siren? A poet dressed in shifting skin, ever made a grin for a bootleg damsel smothered in perverted beauty? I always wanted your hands, reaching or clenched or beating out the demons of childhood. We reap what we sow. I made you a quilt of future children, pressed my hand against my belly after you came and went, named it a sky I gazed at in your absence, a past of remembering things to be forgotten. No one can give such a gift, and who has healed this kind of woman before? A vagina drenched in midnight mistakes of youth and taken for granted, taken advantage of. She knew what she was doing. What kind of alien has loved you so to leave your body intact? Gave you blues and back road rivers to drink from, traveled the distance, writing letters to your shivers, twisting the tears, the shimmied image. Truth is, I lied about you to everyone but myself. Told the tales How many times did you fly above me, a tic-tac-toe route of soon we shall meet again, on your way to another concert hall, an empty bar, a clumsy fuck, screw pretty things and call it manhood? Did you forget that hungover morning in Brooklyn, your tattoo arms squeezing my naked torso as if for life, as if for love, the day after you signed your divorce papers, your body, usually a filter of noise and vibration, a harness of godly rhythm, your body was whimpering that morning. A heavy chest of noiseless shutters crying in an awkward kitchen of our creation. I was startled by the fragile moments we shared, the delicate gestures of disaster. We were not prepared to make this kind of music. Have you ever loved someone so deeply, so unequivocally real you'd protect them from yourself? Left a good thing for safekeeping, like an instrument sitting in your closet, rarely played. When you pick it up again, after years of facing your insecure talents, the only audience is us. The musician and the instrument in a silent room being held by one another, and there's only new sounds. Only new sounds. So I spent like the whole day today, I'm really cheesy, building these chapels because I was like, I have to give them something to leave with. And I actually even used pastels, and I spent my fingers all day today. Seriously, I was almost late here. Fixing out the pastels. So these are here for you if you want them. I only have 20 of them because it took only 20 I could do today with pastels. You feel me? But one thing I do want to say before I leave, when I went off on a rant about capitalism, there's so many things that we need to do to fix the world, but the biggest thing we need to do is to change our values. You know what I'm saying? I realize that the root of most issues are the fact that we do not have the same values. So if like we all valued each other, like what we could give and bring to the table that might not be money, because shit is changing right now. I know everybody in here is struggling. Ain't nobody in here is like multi-millionaires, and if you are, holla at me after this. But either way, you know, I believe we're gonna go to an existence where trade is gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Where we need to trade goods, where it's like, if you cook a really good meal and I have a car, and you don't have no way to get around, I'd be like, okay, cook me a meal, I'll get you around. That's trade, that's seeing value and how we can bring two things to each other, right? So I just wrote some dope poems for you. You know what I'm saying? That shit is real! You know what I'm saying? How much money y'all make an hour? Word, these poems took a lot of hours, and all I'm asking is $10. Amen. So I'm just saying. No, but it's very true. It's very true. You think it was clever? Okay. That's nice, that's nice. This is called For Roger. My place was always in a shadow. There was never a right moment to speak or laugh. When they pried my legs apart fresh out of my mother's womb, they should have told me, go back, girl. Go back in and hide, take cover. They should have warned me about the war. Instead of borrowing books from the walls of my mother's regrets, I could have been preparing in her uterus. Could have been studying the proper way to load a rifle. How I would have known the heart at greater length. Could have learned well ahead of time how to operate heavy machinery. Sometimes, when I sit in a room full of black women, I'm counting the ride or die bitches I'm ducking down behind my spirit, praying they won't vote me the martyr. I'm convincing myself we aren't bitter, fighting the word so desperately that I laugh with the womanizer, I play cards with the cheater, I dance with the deadbeat, all the while flirting with anger. I never liked anger, it was always my least favorite of emotions, but damn how that bitch thrills when I hear a strange mahogany voice. I wrap my ears around the words. The sound of such instrument is haunting heaven. Some songs I will never sing simply because I'm expected to do so. Some men I will never love simply because I love them. When I rose into a conversation of your artillery, when I marched along the battlefield noting the bodies laying around us, I was praying that the casualties would understand, that somehow they pitied you even then, rather you live and wrestle a lifetime of demons than beheaded slighted and forgotten. I'd rather you remembered. Each day is a memorial for some woman waiting in a dining room table in Chicago on a damp April night, sharpening the rotating blades in her mouth, waiting with an automatic in her lap, a finger stuttering on the trigger. It doesn't heal me to see you hurt. It doesn't make the wounds go away. If I can encourage you to put down your weapons, maybe we can both make it out alive. Lately, I've been playing Russian roulette with whiskey shots, clenching my eyes at the bitterness. When he walked into the room last night, I felt like a victim for the first 10 minutes, then a chill came through me. Men are walking coffins of secrets. They make love on gravesites. I say this to say, your past never goes away. 10 years from now, you may be caught pushing your daughter in a cart down the grocery aisle, and there are still those women. Women whose bodies tense and quake when they see you, whose blood boils with flashbacks of your fingers around their throat, your thrust breaking them open. Memories on aisle 4. Perhaps you are a better man now. But you still hold her tight in nightmares. Sometimes it's too late. The memory is stale, is poison and gangrene. Sometimes it must be cut off in order to live. Dang, I'll end on the Brooklyn one and end with, start with this one. I don't remember this poem, but I'm gonna try to this from Omni. She lives in an apartment made of bricks, with a bathroom that sings of a fleeting heart. Her kitchen faucet has a sore throat. Ends up in conversations with the skin of her eardrums at night. She loves in silence. Dreams of a voice for making love on white linen stained with well-worn human in Octobers. She imagines windows like the ones along her new lover's spine. Tired of shoveling dirt over the railroads in her. I don't remember this poem. She lives in an apartment made of bricks, with a bathroom that sings of a fleeting heart. Her kitchen faucet has a sore throat. Ends up in conversations with the skin of her eardrums at night. She loves in silence. Dreams of a voice for making love on white linen stained with well-worn human in Octobers. She imagines windows like the ones along her new lover's spine. Tired of shoveling dirt over the graveyards on her mother's wrists. A daughter remembers the switchblades tripping off the ledge of her mother's tongue. Chicken scratches her insecurities on the mirrors of her eyelids. Licks suicide off the plate clean like a bulimic torn between the God that promises heaven in her stomach. Women are tired of being hungry. Tired of gritty knees and calloused palms. Tear-stained sheets and retired songs. She hums prayers between the fingers of clenched fists amidst whirlwinds. I wish I could tell this story like a lucid dream. Could stitch heartache like loose strings at the seam, but I am tired of spiraling, boiling blood. You see, love doesn't like to be fucked from behind, lest I need to remind you of the missing artery in your ribcage. Boy, God ain't make no mistakes when you put a woman into your life. This is for the man that throws a penny in the water fountain and throws it back. A metaphor of your life. It rained the day before you came. The sky fell, knocked over dripping red from God's veins. It just went to another poem.
Yes. Let's come on.
Thanks, Mo, for keeping me on. I just totally switched that shit up. I don't know why that happened. Yeah, I could have. Nah, but you needed to hear the actual ending to the other poem. Because there's some shit where like angels like take their wings off their backs and beat the shit out of some guy. It's really good. When it's done well. But I'm gonna end with this right now. And this is for Brooklyn.
Come on. Sunshine.
Here we go. On a humble, I be having these dreams where I'm people watching with Basquiat sitting on the curb in Bedford Ave, steeping Paraguas, talking about never thought I'd live to see the day. Could have sworn I saw Otis Blackwell walking out the corner store on Atlantic Ave, smoking a Lucy, whistling a new tune for Elvis to cover. And it was gully right because I caught. And it was gully right because I caught Biggie on a stoop in Bed-Stuy selling dope to a hipster with Ready to Die tatted across the pale of his arm. Hadn't seen seen a hoopty in a while when old dirty bastard pulled up offering me a ride to the pink houses, and suddenly a handsome mocha man sitting on a nearby fire escape calls my name. I could tell it was Jackie by the Dodger stitched across his chest. He told me I missed home and that it all fades to black. When I woke, the blue moon was sprawling out from its hiding place, limbs hanging over the shoulder of night after lovers had abandoned their bodies, laughing in the corners of each other. I was a Fulton lamppost staring at the sky's cheekbone shy of stardust through the blinds of J-train tracks. This is how it feels to dream of being moonlight in East New York. A concrete plant collecting the whispers of bodega blues, darling sunrise, tickles drumbeat hips swaying through the air of Sasson, and I envy the morning swag. Boomboxes hold our windows open in July. We face our fears on the cyclone, call it romance. A stroll along the boardwalk in Coney Island. Head nods pay respect on beat, boys playing Scully in the street. We used to buy our kicks in City Line, roll a blunt for our fallen soldiers, and spark a generation in love with spray cans and naked tenement buildings, graffiti the spirits of hustlers with bubble letters. Miss the softy summers meant stealing Abuela's Santa offerings for Tweety Bird on a positive day. Playing hopscotch on the broken sidewalk, eavesdropping on front stoop gossip, hair braiding, fingers dancing between strands of air. Brothers get caught in gangs, get caught in barbershops, get caught in street corners, get caught thrown against the hood of cop cars. Seen one too many handcuffs on the wrists of brown skin. We dock slave ships on our shores daily. Know Rikers Island like a country home. I'm convinced my father conceived me in Kings County arraignments while daydreaming of freedom. I owe my life to the woman who stopped my mother on the B-56 on her way to the abortion clinic and told her she had a poet coming.
Break. Aja will be right here at this table selling her books. She has 10 anthologies and only 20 chapbooks.